Welcome to GNV On The Move, a half-hour program showcasing the City of Gainesville's initiatives, programs, events, and people. I'm your host, Jennifer Smart. This is an exciting time for Gainesville as we strive to create a community that is equitable, sustainable, resilient, and a great place to live and experience. We are a city on the move. In this episode, we'll have a conversation with Gainesville Police Chief Nelson Moya. We discussed his long career in law enforcement and strategies aimed at creating a safer community for all neighbors. We'll update you on city initiatives addressing housing, pedestrian safety, gun violence prevention, and services to assist neighbors experiencing homelessness. But first, here is my conversation with Gainesville's District 2 Commissioner, Ed Book. We discussed his commitment to public safety and how he's using that knowledge to support economic development in our historic downtown. Ed Book was elected to the Gainesville City Commission in 2022. He's focused on improving the downtown district through efforts such as the Downtown Refresh, public safety policies, and crime prevention through environmental design. Commissioner Book retired from the Gainesville Police Department as district commander and captain after more than 26 years. He currently serves as the Chief of Police at Santa Fe College. Commissioner Book, welcome to GNV On The Move.
Thank you, Director. I appreciate that very much.
Yeah, wonderful to have you here. And I wanted to ask you first about your history with the City of Gainesville, because you did put in a full career with the police department prior to your position with the City Commission.
Yeah, so this is really City Service Part 2. Is really what this is. I did do, as you said, over 26 years with the Gainesville Police Department, had a wonderful career there, and then I had the opportunity to go to another outstanding police department, Santa Fe College, which is really a community institution that really benefits and has a lot of partnership with the city also. And now as I kind of enter the latter phases of my career, it's terrific to say I'm back with the city and in an elected capacity.
I'd like to know what it was over your nearly 30 years with GPD that made you begin to think there are issues that I want to be more a part of. There are ideas I have to improve things.
It's a great question. So in police work or public safety, the aspect is, what can you do? How can you do more? How can you engage the community in a better way? And so I was already doing that with both Gainesville and now with Santa Fe College. But the reality is, I start to think in the latter phases, I've made a lot of connections here at the city. Is there ways that I can connect these various components and we can do things to improve the city? So me running for City Commission, it was not a new idea. It's something I discussed with my family and my wife years ago, and things lined up in 2022, and I was elected in 2023.
From our role in communications, we've seen you be very vocal about some things that have been on the forefront over the past couple of years. So we have looked at gun violence prevention. We have looked at the arts, culture, and entertainment districts and our open container ordinance. And these are areas where you brought a lot of practical experience.
So law enforcement is not all about enforcement. It's about prevention and deterrence and education and intervention. And in that regard, as a city commissioner, what we do is set policy. And I think that's what you're alluding to, Director, is policy. Some of that policy, how can we provide better ordinances that help fire and police and emergency management do their job? And so I've been focused on the policy side because as a commissioner, that's what I can do if we know that those will give them the tools to make our city better, more vibrant, safer, and therefore more of us will want to live, work, and play here.
And so what are some of the things that you were thinking about when you suggested changing our nuisance ordinance or our bottle club?
Well, interestingly, both the mayor and Commissioner Desmond Duncan Walker brought up the fact that our gun violence was not acceptable. Now, we know we want to reduce the capability for people to be victimized. So what can we do as a commission? And when we had a gun violence summit, which I presented at, about a year and a half ago, it got me thinking of what are the ordinances, what are the gaps that can help our public safety work in ways that don't control or manage or overly enforce, but still give them the tools. And so it really started with the Gun Violence Summit and thinking about some of the ordinances.
And you've also been really interesting to listen to when it comes to CPTED, crime prevention through environmental design, and what that means for our downtown and other parts of our city. Explain this a little bit.
All right, so I'm a cop, and cops love acronyms. We love abbreviations. And so CPTED is in fact this crime prevention concept, this umbrella that makes the way that we build our environment safer. So CPTED is CPTED, crime prevention through environmental design, and I happen to be what they call a practitioner. So I have I would say a high degree of training through the Florida Attorney General's office in it. And what that says is people can be safe. We can do things that are safer in the way that we create policy, but CPTED is specific to the built environment. How can we make a building safer? How can we create better lighting? Can we make a road in ways that creates traffic safety for our pedestrians and our micromodal and bicycles? So CPTED is a really interesting concept. It's gotten a lot of traction in Florida over the last few years, and anytime I can think about the way we can leverage public safety via policy, I think about how can we build better and in safer ways.
So specifically in downtown, where you come to work every day, you come to City Hall.
Every day.
What do you see as you look around that environment where you're thinking, lighting, landscape, intersections? What do you see that could be improved?
Yeah, I like what you said. So when you say landscaping, the ways that you create an environment where people want to be. We call that in CPTED, of course, you have to have terminology for everything, and a legitimate user. So what do we do to make, so say downtown, but it can be anywhere. What do we do to make people want to come there? You can put public art, murals, water fountains, kiosks, playgrounds. These are things that bring people to areas. Things like the stage that we have, the Bo Diddley Plaza. That's an area that brings people down for activity. Well, when you bring people down for legitimate activity, that can be a deterrent to non-legitimate or criminal or non-safe activity. So that's one reason. Lighting is critical. In our late night, when our downtown business district becomes an entertainment district primarily, you want people to be able to be safe from a parking lot to walking across a sidewalk to the car or to a business. So our lighting is critical. And then I think you hit on an interesting one, something we call wayfinding, which is just good signage. You need to know where to go, how to go, and understand where you're going at any particular point. So these are aspects that you look at to make sure people want to be in the areas we want them to be. And in this case, it's downtown.
And so what do you have in mind moving forward as we look at plans to develop downtown further? Do you already have some things back there that you're thinking you might propose or want to see?
Well, I like to say when people say, what's your agenda? And I say, no, I really have no agenda. That's my agenda. The whole point about public safety and public engagement is I should be listening to see what does our community want? How do they want to grow? How do they want to be vibrant? And what makes them feel safe? So I don't specifically come up with ideas and say, you need this. What I do is listen, like for example, when we were dealing with residential zoning, or when we were dealing with cleaning up downtown and parking, and say, what is it that you feel makes our downtown or our city better? And if there's policies that I have expertise in, then I should be working towards those. So I don't look at downtown and say, what does Ed Book want? I look at downtown and say, what is the business and the residents and the community members down there want, and how can my expertise help them get to that?
And this is exactly how the downtown refresh happened.
It is, in fact, how downtown refresh happened.
So talk a little bit about that, because that was an enormous success. You had so much buy-in, so many partners that were working to make that happen.
So I've lived here a long time. So everybody goes, how come you know everyone? Well, I've lived here a long time, and my wife is a first grade teacher for a long time. So if I haven't met him, Mrs. Book has probably taught him in that regard. And so some of those partners that really help us in the community is Rotary. I'm in Rotary. We do all kinds of things funding nonprofits for sustainable projects over the years, and it's wonderful, and it's service driven. And then you have Keep Alachua County Beautiful, who does things like clean up roads and help get rid of cigarette butts and put murals up. Well, I've worked with these organizations for years. I've been on both their boards. And I thought, what can we do that's simple and engage downtown in ways that's meaningful for the downtown community? And one is just, let's clean up together. When you clean up with someone, that's a lot better than cleaning up for someone. This is something I learned in youth programs. Do it with them, not for them. And I came up with this term called Downtown Refresh. We got over 100 volunteers last year together. Everybody loved the idea, and you were part of it. Our city manager, our executive leadership at the city was part of it, and numerous organizations. And we came downtown and we cleaned up, and we picked up cigarette butts, and we removed graffiti, and we clicked up Sweetwater Branch Creek, And when we left, it was a much nicer place to be. And we realized that's a continuing effort, but it certainly made everybody realize we can do things together that make our downtown nicer.
One of the things that surprised me about it, because I knew it was going to be an effort, and everyone sort of, oh, we're going to get early, we're going to have to be there all day. They had wheelbarrows full of mulch. They were picking up litter, and they had a fantastic time.
It was great. I forgot about that. So we did lots of plantings. We identified areas where you talked about foliage and shrubbery. Where can you put some plants and just beautify an area? City staff did some pre-cleaning and pressure washing of some of our city facilities also. Making things look bright and clean is also safe. We started talking about safety. That's SEPTED also. And there were families and children, and there was a group from the college, Saints for Sustainability, I think their name was, a group. And the Chamber of Commerce did a lot of our marketing for us and was great. And these are the partners that really, they make something go. And this is called engagement in the community. It was a lot of fun, and it was only a few hours.
And it was kind of an inspiring event. The pictures, the videos from it were remarkable.
Yeah, I had a really good time too, because you see all the energy that comes forward, and you realize all these people, we share the same goal, which is let's be here, let's make it a nice place to visit, to live, to work, to play, like I said before. And I think for that day, that's what we did.
Well, what a wonderful note to end on. Thank you, Commissioner Book, for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
After the break, we'll share a conversation with Gainesville Police Chief Nelson Moya. We delved into his focus on gun violence prevention, and we also discussed his sharp interest in recruitment with the goal of bringing new officers into the agency. But first, here is an update on steps the City of Gainesville is taking to effectively address on a local level some of the issues that are facing communities across the country.
The City of Gainesville recently was awarded $800,000 from the U.S. Department of Transportation. Through the federal Safe Streets and Roads for All program, the award will be used to evaluate lighting conditions, speed, and other factors along city roads that may contribute to crashes among roadway users. Impact GNV partner, the BOLD program, has established a partnership with the A. Quinn Jones Center for regular engagement opportunities to reach students most at risk of gun violence. Intervention specialists offer mentorship, leadership development, and other opportunities, and are working to develop the same partnership with other area schools. Visit GainesvilleFL.gov/ImpactGNV to sign up for the Impact GNV newsletter to learn more. If you or someone you know is looking to purchase your first home in Gainesville, the city may be able to help. Our down payment assistance program offers up to $30,000 to income-qualified buyers. Learn more about the program at a housing workshop on Wednesday, January 15th at the historic Thomas Center downtown. For more information, contact City Housing at 352-393-8209 or coghousing@gainesvillefl.gov. The City of Gainesville is a member of the Keys to Home Continuum of Care, dedicated to ending homelessness in Alachua and surrounding counties. The Continuum of Care has scheduled town hall meetings in January to gather feedback from residents, community leaders, and stakeholders on homelessness and building stronger communities. Town hall details are available online at keystohome.org.
Hello, I'm Lee McMullen. I've been to RTS 18 years. Happy 50th anniversary.
Purpose. It's what we're all looking for. As a police officer, you're a part of a team dedicated to building meaningful connections and making a real difference in your community. And I'm not talking just any city. I'm talking about Gainesville, Florida.
Gainesville is a vibrant hub of art, music, culture, and outdoor adventures waiting to be explored.
Imagine living in a place where you can hike through lush trails.
Enjoy live music in the heart of downtown.
Savor culinary delights from award-winning restaurants.
All while being a part of a community that has this, so things stay fresh.
You want to make a difference? Here's your chance.
As a member of the Gainesville Police Department, you'll have the opportunity to work closely with residents and collaborate on innovative community-driven solutions.
Our department is committed to providing mentorship, training, and support to help you grow both personally and professionally.
The Gainesville Police Department has over 25 specialty assignments and units available. Some of these include mental health co-responders, forensic crime, criminal investigations division, school resource officers, SWAT,
Youth Resource Unit, Traffic, Special Investigations Division, Crime Analyst, K-9, Gainesville Housing Authority. Trust me, you won't get bored.
The opportunities at the Gainesville Police Department are as unique as the dedicated individuals who encompass it.
That's because GPD continues to welcome people from all backgrounds and experiences with one common goal, to make a positive impact every day.
Join us in shaping a safer, more vibrant Gainesville, where every day brings new opportunities to serve, learn, and thrive.
It's time to step up and find your purpose.
Nelson Moya joined the Gainesville Police Department in June 2023 as Assistant Chief and also served as Interim Chief before recently being appointed Chief of Police. He has more than 30 years of experience in law enforcement, beginning as a 19-year-old officer in the city of Palm Bay, Florida. Since arriving at GPD, Chief Moya has launched a gun violence prevention initiative, which appears to already have brought some positive results. Chief Moya, welcome to GNV On The Move.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
I wanted to talk to you first about recruitment, your efforts to bring new officers into the agency. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, ma'am. So that remains one of our top priorities, along with gun violence, houseless neighbors, and all our initiatives there. But we have to be adequately staffed. We can't do any of our mission if we don't have the proper amount of folks working with us, both civilian, professional staff, and sworn police officers. But where we were really hurting, and still we're still in deficit, but we're seeing great progress, is in the sworn staffing, the police officers, in essence. So over this past year, we have seen a tremendous amount of uptake in our applications. Now, some of that has to do with our compensation package that we were able to improve over the last couple of months with the approval of our commission, our city manager, and that makes us, it puts us in a really competitive place as it relates to other agencies in our area. It gives us the ability to recruit and better recruit people from not only our own community, but from surrounding communities as well, all intended to bring in top-notch talent here in Gainesville.
And what are some of the things that you see or that you have initiated in GPD to make it a really welcoming, strong, robust agency that people would want to join?
You know, that it's multifaceted because you have to have, aside from compensation, which although is important, it's not the only thing that creates a vibrant environment. You have to have a culture that is diverse. You have to have a mission that is clear so that our employees from both sides of the house, as we call it, know what we stand for, what we represent. And when you couple that with our priorities and start seeing some of those successes in terms of public safety, it builds an overall attractiveness to an organization with purpose. And I think that is what's making the difference here.
You have had a very long, successful career in law enforcement, so you're a good person to sort of speak to what it is that brings someone to the mission of working for a police department. So tell me a little bit about your own past in public safety.
Well, briefly, I'm in my 34th year of public service. As you stated, I started as a young kid many years ago in the city of Palm Bay, and I worked it all. And you know, I've worked the street, I've worked investigations, internal affairs. So I have thankfully, a wide spectrum of experience that I can draw from. So it gives me those references as I lead an organization because I've served in many roles. And it gives me the capacity to mentor and train and better lead because I have those experiences. But every organization is different. Every community is different. So it's my business to more importantly assimilate to this culture, right, and to this community, being from a different area, and that has been the greatest challenge, but the biggest task, and that's a slow process because you want to assimilate internally and externally genuinely, so that it becomes your community and you're part of the agency, and that has been my main goal.
And it's really juggling a lot of different things because while you're doing that, you're also launching important initiatives like gun violence prevention. And I know that you're reluctant to claim any victories there because it's such an ongoing day-to-day effort that could change. But we have seen some progress.
We have. And when I came to the organization, to the city, we were in the middle of a wave of violence that was concerning to me, given my experience, right? Because I have seen it before, but given our community and based on how I assessed it, it was concerning. But there were some opportunities. Now, it's not only the police. I came here at a time where the city was recognizing the same problem. Our commission had initiated an initiative there as well with, we had a gun violence summit, as you recall. And a lot of partners came to the table, a lot of stakeholders, and it created a lot of dialogue. And from that, different lanes are created. And I'm pretty certain that what I've seen is a lot of those lanes are being effective. Those lanes are centered on prevention or intervention, certainly ours and suppression or enforcement. So all of these efforts by the entire community, those that came to the table, bringing resources, bringing ideas, bringing plans, actionable solutions, that's really what's making the difference, coupled with our intelligence-led policing efforts in identifying who those folks are. It's typically a minority that creates the majority of the issues, and focusing on identifying where they're at, whether they're in possession of illegal weapons, and bringing them to justice.
And you've taken a lot of illegal weapons off the street this year.
Yeah, that's kind of a double-edged sword, because you want to say, you want to celebrate that and say, yeah, we've taken a bunch, but then the other side is that it's a shame that we're seeing so many. I think this past year alone, and it's two different metrics. So the number I'm going to give you is roughly 230 firearms year to date, right? But the metric is much bigger if you count other weapons that people turn in miscellaneous. Someone passes, someone wants to turn in a gun. But the 230 roughly firearms that I'm speaking about are the ones that are coming off the street, people that are in possession, illegal possession of weapons. That is what is remarkable about that number. That, to me, even in my years of experience, is an alarming number, and that effort continues. So my goal in our efforts is to hopefully see that number diminish, right? Now, if we can see the number of guns that we're seizing go down, along with the number of confirmed shootings go down, now that correlation speaks of something greater. That is a true reduction. And so that's what our efforts are focused on, getting illegal guns off the streets, off of the wrong hands, and keep people safe.
And you mentioned collaboration and partner agencies. This seems so important, and you've also been really involved in the efforts to assist neighbors who are experiencing homelessness and to tackle the public safety angle there. And I know you've worked with GFR, you've worked with a number of different, the Sheriff's Department, a number of different agencies.
Yeah, and very important to acknowledge all of our partners, certainly in terms of law enforcement, our partners with the Sheriff's Office, UPD, all of our local law enforcement partners, Santa Fe, play a crucial role in everything we do, because we, in essence, share resources, and because of that, we multiply our efforts here locally. And that is an invaluable resource that keeps us from operating in silos. In terms of the houselessness, that is a very complex issue, because it is almost like an intersection of public safety issues, social issues that are deeply rooted on things that the police alone cannot resolve. We're talking about whether it's affordable housing, whether it's mental health, whether it's addiction. All of these tentacles are at play when you talk about houselessness. And here we are trying to keep folks safe. So obviously we want to see folks sheltered, but we also want to make sure that our businesses, our homeowners, our property owners are also cared for, so that we have and maintain public order. So it is a difficult task. It is a day by day, because as you know, the issue of houselessness is all about resources and available resources, and that typically remains the challenge.
And one last question as we look forward ahead, what are your hopes for public safety in the City of Gainesville?
Well, I think the best way I can answer that is in the concept of community policing, right? Community policing kind of umbrellas everything that we do. So my hope moving forward, our hope I should say, is that we continue to build those relationships that pay off great dividends in public safety, because What we do is vast, and it changes, and it's case by case, and there's many circumstances and variables that can change everything at a split second. But what holds true are relationships, knowing who are your stakeholders, knowing the residents, knowing the business owners, knowing those community leaders, the clergy. That is our goal, to continue to build on those relationships so that we can see the results of that. And the results of that is the unification between, or continued unification between our community and law enforcement for the result of public safety. Public safety is not just police, it's all of us.
It's a great way to put it. Thank you, Chief. Thank you for being here.
Thank you again. Appreciate it.
We hope you've enjoyed this glimpse of the many exciting projects going on in Gainesville. We leave you now with a look at Morningside Nature Center. The park's living history farm centers on the life of an Irish immigrant family who built the on-site cabin in the 1840s. It includes a barn, a one-room schoolhouse, an heirloom garden, farm animals, and regular events with hands-on interactive experiences. The park's more than 400 acres also features a spectacular wildflower display and diverse wildlife, including deer, wild turkey, gopher tortoises, and a variety of birds. Join us again next month as we take another look at GNV On The Move.